Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and this is the channel where I went to business school so you didn't need to, and today we are analyzing 3 articles about Lucid Group. One is very bullish and positive, one is very bearish and negative, so you can get both sides and you can determine which article you agree with more, and then lastly we will discuss where the share price is headed of the LCID stock. For more videos just like this one, remember to go and annihilate that like button right now. Go ahead, go and smash it. Comment down below where you think the current share price is headed. Subscribe if you are new, and without further ado, let's jump right into today's stories. If you're not familiar with Lucid Group Inc., ticker symbol LCID, this company specializes in luxury electric vehicles. Lucid Group currently is trading for around $10.33. However, many investors believe the company will surge up to $14 or higher over the next week or two. But why is that? Well, to start off, I want to say that the company has performed very well over the last few weeks to the last month. On top of that, the company's shares have surged by around 25.15% over the last month, which is due to rumors about the Saudi Arabian wealth fund buying out this company, which we will talk more about later in this video because we have received new updates on that. However, right now investors are excited about how Lucid Group will be looking to display their strength in their upcoming earnings report, which will take place, or at least is projected to take place, on February 22nd of 2023. And on that day, current estimates say that Lucid will report a loss of 39 cents per share. But that's not the good part. That's actually quite a negative aspect of this earnings report, because what investors are excited about is their quarterly revenue, which is projected to come in at around $289.8 million, representing a 998.14% increase compared to the year prior. And this is very good news, which could cause the share price to surge up or past $14 per share, according to some professionals. Now, clearly, the earnings per share is not very good at a loss of 39 cents per share, but that actually would only equate to a decline of around 5.41%, and any decline in an earnings report is not very positive. However, the decline is rather minor, coming in at just 5.4%, under 6%, while their revenues have literally increased almost 1,000%. So it really depends what investors are looking forward to in this upcoming earnings report. But for a company to grow their revenue by almost 1,000%, that's absolutely crazy. But this is a double-edged sword, because now that we've analyzed and gone over the news updates of why investors are so hyped on this stock right now, let's go over some bearish negative factors that you need to keep in the back of your mind. And we're going to go to one of our favorite naysayers that just likes to watch the stock market burn. So let's see what he says, and I'll tell you and add my opinion if I agree or disagree and why I agree or disagree. He says that Lucid Group has recently cooled off from the meme mania because the share price surged to around $17.81 per share due to rumors that have been unconfirmed about a buyout. And he's referring to Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, or PIF, potentially buying out Lucid. But remember, we've only had rumors up to this point. And this buyout excited investors to cause the share price to skyrocket up to almost $18 per share. However, the buyout rumors are behind us. Or are they? Because recently, Saudi Arabia's public fund actually invested more into Lucid Group, making this buyout more plausible, or at least easier. But we will talk more about that in the next article that we analyze. Let's go over some bearish negatives that this author highlights and if I agree or disagree with him. He says right now it's best for you to sell your LCID stock so you can cut your overall losses. And this depends. So for instance, I personally do not own a lot of LCID. I only own around 1% of this company as of right now, and that 1% is referring to my portfolio allocation. But I think it would be wiser to wait until after the earnings report, because the earnings report could send shares even higher if they either deliver exactly what's estimated or if they even beat these estimates and projections by Wall Street. However, nonetheless, this bearish naysayer is saying to sell your stocks right now. The bearish negative author goes on to say that Lucid is currently holding steady at around $10, to where many investors believe that $10 is their new price floor, meaning that it would be very difficult for the LCID stock price to drop below $10 per share. But this author believes the company could fall all the way to $6.09 per share after the earnings report, which is, yes, possible, but I highly doubt it. If anything, the company would maybe fall to around $7 to $8, even if they had a poor earnings report. The bearish negative critic goes on to say that Lucid's longstanding issues are their production delays, their high cash burn rate, and their rising competition. And I agree with him on all three of those regards. Yes, their production is not impressive. They have very high cash burn, and there is rising competition. However, this company is not at all at risk of going out of business because their investors have very deep pockets. This company most likely will not return high investor value until most likely past 2025. So in the short term, yes, these are problems that Lucid will have to work out over the next few years. But overall, that does not mean that this company is fundamentally a bad company. The author also highlights that Lucid is following suit after Tesla and Ford because these automakers have cut their overall prices for their vehicles. Both Tesla and Ford have done this, and Lucid is following suit to where they are now offering a $7,500 credit, or really it's a rebate, on their Air Touring and Air Grand Touring models. Which honestly isn't that much money based off of the people who are buying these vehicles, because these vehicles are well over six figures. So he says that the jury is still out on whether or not the price cuts for Tesla and Ford are working, but let me disagree with him adamantly here. Ever since Ford and Tesla have cut their prices, their demand has absolutely skyrocketed, causing both companies to sell more vehicles, which is positively impacting their overall revenues and bottom lines. So I would disagree with the author, and if that can translate over into Lucid selling more of their vehicles, or at least getting more pre-orders, this is a positive development. At the end of the day, the author of this article has a sell rating on this company, because he says if Lucid brings in less than impressive earnings or revenue on their upcoming earnings report, or they miss their year-end deliveries, which according to current projections should be around 24,000 vehicles for 2023, the share price could go down. But of course, that's a no-brainer. Everyone already knows that. If they don't have a good earnings report, the company will fall in their share price. And if the company misses on their delivery numbers, the company will also fall in their share price. But the opposite is also true, to where if they beat on their overall revenues and earnings, the share price will skyrocket. And if they deliver more vehicles than they initially projected, the company's share price will also skyrocket. So this really isn't evidence at all either way. It's just stating the obvious. However, these are some things that you need to keep in the back of your mind as an investor into this company. And remember, I only have a 1% allocation to this company overall. But now let's get into the juicy news, where Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund recently increased their stake of the LCID stock, which is very, very positive. And this is just fueling even more rumors about this company potentially buying out the company. In my personal view, I think it's best for everyone if this company actually doesn't buy out the company. And in the end, I don't think they will actually do that as of right now, because why would the company increase their overall investment if they just plan to buy out the company in general? They would have just bought out the company because this entity has more than enough money to do so. The Saudi Arabia's wealth fund, or public investment fund, also known as a PIF, has increased their overall ownership of the electric vehicle company known as Lucid Group, ticker symbol LCID, and they increased their overall position by a hefty 9.2%, to where now they have 1.11 billion, that's billion with a B, shares, versus their fourth quarter where they only had around 1 billion shares. And we are getting this from their 13F filing. So these numbers are very up to date and very accurate. In addition to buying even more Lucid Group, this fund also bought more Activision Blizzard, ticker symbol ATVI, but it is only an increase of 0.1%, and they also decreased and cut their stake in the online fashion retailer named Farfetched, ticker symbol FTCH, by 36.5%, which was very odd. It's very good to see the company is buying more Lucid Group, even even though their projected earnings report says the company will bring in a greater loss than they did last time of around 6%, referring to their EPS. But I am very excited for their earnings report that is supposed to be around February 22nd, and I think this could act as a catalyst to increase their overall share price. But I leave that up to you. Always make sure to do your own research. Don't overexpose yourself to any one singular growth company. Always make sure to practice proper risk management. And if you want more videos on Lucid or any other electric vehicle company, remember to go and comment down below, smash that like button if you haven't already, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next YT video.